Well, hello, all you talkers of the yoke that are joining us today. You like that one?
Talkers of the yoke. I was like, yokers assemble, but okay,
Yokers
talkers
assemble.
of the yoke.
I gotta mix it up. I gotta keep it
Yoke and
fresh.
yoke and talkers.
Yoke and talkers. It sounds like German. Yoke and
talkers.
But how are you doing this week, Pastor Boz?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm having a better week than I did last week so far.
Excellent.
So yeah, things are going well. How's your week going?
Very excellent. It's going really good. It's going really good. Had a great Monday yesterday. I've been trying to change my sleep schedule just a little bit. So like before I was like going to bed like between like 11:30 and midnight, usually more like midnight. And so sometimes past midnight, things like that. But then, I'm trying to wake up at like 7:30, and it was just like rough for me. Because when I go to bed, I'm not getting to sleep right away. It usually takes me like 30 minutes to get to sleep. So that's just time that I'm not sleeping. But just made a slight change. So I'm trying to go to bed around 11 now, and I've been pretty good with it. I'm trying to go to bed around 11, and then I've been waking up at 7. And yesterday was the first day that I felt like I was like, this is working great. Like I went through all of yesterday, not feeling tired at all. And like when I woke up in the morning, like I woke up a little bit before my alarm went off, and I actually felt rested and like got up. The only problem now is like the bed is just too cozy and I just want to stay there. But
I've been there for sure. I usually go to bed around 11:30. So I wouldn't mind going to bed a little bit later, but many of you know, my wife has trouble sometimes getting to sleep, and so she wants me in bed at 11:30. And if I'm not,
get him.
Not really. But, yeah, I go to bed around 11:30 every night. So
yeah, but a small little change can make a big difference, guys. Whether it's in your sleep schedule or something else.
Yes.
Never be afraid to try new things or just change something a little slightly, figure out what works for you. But we've got some great topics today. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of them. We've got Twitch multiplayer ads have been announced. Pastor Bellis knows very little about them, but he wants to have opinions. He just doesn't have them yet. So we'll see.
I do have an opinion, but I don't know what this is. So we'll see if my opinion's right or wrong.
We'll see the birth of his opinion firsthand. And then we've got Microsoft expects Xbox Series X and S supply shortages to continue until April 2021. Oof, feels bad. Somebody made a PS5 simulator for people who could not get the console. So we're going to be talking about that. Pretty great. Sony addresses PS5's lack of a web browser and 1440p support. And Pastor Boss, what else do we have?
We have Nvidia. Nvidia seems like a topic that we have every week nowadays. Nvidia delivers an 85% frame rate boost to Call of Duty Cold War thanks to DLSS and a few other games that are less popular as well. Google is giving free Stadia game kits to YouTube Premium subscribers. Super Mario 3D All-Stars update includes GameCube controller support for Sunshine, which I'm sure a lot of people are excited about.
Except I already beat it.
Super Mario Trainer Collection announced by Puma.
Super Mario shoes, everybody.
Listen, Mario shoes have been out before, and they sell out real quick.
Get your Mario shoes.
Get your Mario shoes. And also, we're going to be bringing on some thoughts for consoles not having many games to play for just those consoles. We'll be talking about that, PS5 and Xbox Series X specifically. Seraph got his first Fall Guys win. He'll talk about that experience. And then finally, we will be talking about being thankful as we are almost at Thanksgiving. Then finally, as it is episode 20, something we did on episode 10, and we'd like to do today. We might go a little bit over our hour. And the reason why is because we want to be able to allow you guys to ask any questions that you might have on these topics, other topics, and we'd love to be able to respond to you guys and your questions at the end of today's segment.
Yep. So get your questions ready. If you have them now, don't post them yet because we'll just ask you to repost them later. So just hold on to those questions. And once we get to the very end, probably in the last 5 or 10 minutes or so, maybe 15, we'll see. and we'll ask you guys for those questions, and we will answer whatever it is that you have. But until then, let's go ahead and get into it. This is YokeTalk. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. I also wanted to reminisce a little bit about YokeTalk. I'm gonna write that down in the doc.
Reminisce.
Let's reminisce, friends. We'll do that. We'll do that after the thankful topic while we're waiting for the questions to come in.
I love streams where I just reminisce on
I don't know how to spell
on the past 4 or 5 years of my stream.
Sure. We'll say that's right. I don't know how to spell it. Anyway,
I'll fix that for you.
Probably wrong. I didn't feel like Googling it. I know what it is. All right, Twitch multiplayer ads, everybody. I believe they announced these yesterday. They're great. They're wonderful.
Can I give my thoughts before I even know what this is? Before I even know what this is.
You saw the cover of the book. Now you're going to judge the book. Let's hear it.
I'm going to judge the book. Twitch has issues already. We know this. Twitch can post anything on Twitter about anything they want, and DMCA becomes the official topic of the day. They could be talking about something that has nothing to do with music and DMCA. Then we have Prime Gaming. Awful name. We talked about this on the YokeTalk. I love Twitch. I really do. I love Twitch. It's a wonderful platform. But this sounds... From the title, it sounds like a really awful idea. Like, this does not sound. It doesn't sound like a good thing. It doesn't. Like, there are so many issues currently going on, and then this sounds really bad. So I'm sorry if it's not, but tell me what it is and what in the world is going on.
It's a little sus. So multiplayer ads are a new type of interactive video ad currently in closed beta, only available to a select group of streamers. When you run a multiplayer ad on your channel, many of your viewers will watch the same ad at the same time. And as part of that shared experience afterwards, these viewers will be able to vote in a real-time interactive poll. For each vote in the poll, Twitch will reward bits to the creator, and there will be a special channel celebration.
Wait, to the person that's running the ad?
Yes.
Like to the streamer?
Yes.
And there will be a special channel celebration.
Yes. Is it glorious?
Now, does this affect subscribers?
Does it affect subscribers?
So I'm subscribed to your stream, right?
Oh, right. They did have a question. So that is part of their Q&A. Do multiplayer ads show to subscribers and turbo users? Some viewers, including turbo users and subscribers, may not see multiplayer ads as part of their ad-free benefits. So, no.
Okay.
Subs will not be watching the ads.
That's a good thing. Okay. All right. I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. Twitch multiplayer ads. I'm all for supporting streamers, and even people that are small time streamers like myself, Unworthy Seraph. We have small time streams, right? Maybe 20 viewers, 30, 40 viewers max when we have our good streams. I'm all for support. I love that Twitch brought to us not partnership, but affiliate programs and what they've done with that as through the years. I feel like this is okay. If you want to do this, this is a bad time to do it because there are so many salty feelings towards Twitch right now due to DMCA. Let's be honest here. There's a lot of salty and sus things going on with DMCA. I'm not even going to get into that because that is not the topic, but this is not a good time for Twitch to maybe in 5-6 months when DMCA is no longer a thought.
Hopefully it's no longer a thought.
Hopefully they've come up with issue or plans and solutions for the people that got banned or people that could get striked and things like that. Like, they're working on it and they've said that. And so great. Thank you, Twitch. That's not enough for me to feel okay about this. This that I'm looking at, this is an issue because you're
It's interesting.
This is my thoughts.
I think, honestly, if they had not called it multiplayer ads, I would have a much different opinion, because I feel like they tried to make it this super fun sounding thing, but they
tried to make it
ads.
Gamer related.
Just call it synchronized ads.
Synced up ads.
Call
anything.
Call it boring like it is. Like
because let's be honest. Now, how long are these ads normally? Are they going to be like?
Probably
like
normal
a minute?
ad length?
30
seconds to a minute.
I went into a stream the other day, and before I could start watching the stream, I had 9 30-second ads to go through. I clicked off the stream. 9. I looked at it. It said 1 of 9, and the first one was 30 seconds. Do you know how quick I left that stream? Like that. Like I've never seen it in my life. I've never seen it again. I won't say who it was. It's not a person, but it's
okay.
It's a tournament that I watch on a weekly basis. Seraph, you know what that one is.
All right.
But yes. 9 ads. Like I was like, no. And it was,
they might have just been doing an ad break.
They could have been.
I know they do that,
but I don't care.
Yeah.
That's 9 30-second ads. What is that? It's 2, 3. It's 4.5 minutes.
My thing with ads compared to like ads on like YouTube or like TV or something, like for YouTube, you're watching on your own, you watch the ad, then you watch the video.
Right.
With TV, I feel like TV is a more accurate example to how it feels, or why it doesn't feel great on Twitch, is because when you're watching TV, you're never missing out on the content because of the ad. Like sometimes you'll even see like an ad gets like cut short because the show is coming back on. So like you never miss out on the show because of the ad. Whereas Twitch, like, sure, even with the people that try to do scheduled ad breaks and they're not doing anything during it. But like, what if your ads glitch up and they load slowly and now you're behind and now you missed out on content? Or maybe the streamer is just running an ad while they're still doing stuff and then you're missing content because you're watching an ad. Like, the problem with it in a live setting with Twitch is like, you are missing out on the content. That's what's always made me feel like ads are just super unfun on Twitch. And I feel like they're trying really, really hard to make them something fun when they're not.
I agree. I don't know. I know that they've done some things with ad blocking this year. I know people have ad blockers.
My ad block still works.
So sometimes ad blocks work, and apparently Twitch has been trying to get around that in certain ways. I have a lot of ads come up lately. But regardless, it used to work 100% of the time, and now it works maybe 50% of the time. I don't know what's going on. But regardless, and not that I'm for ad blocking or not for it, but it gets to the point. This sounds like a bad idea.
It's like I wish I didn't want to use an ad block. Like if ads were just, they were like acceptable and like okay and weren't so like invasive. Or
and
like
some ads out there.
Yeah, or some ads that I just don't want to see. Like, get them out of here. Like, I wish I didn't have to use an ad blocker. Technically, I don't have to, but the alternative is a very grim reality.
This is the way that Twitch somewhat makes their money, and so I get all that. I really do, but I don't know.
We spent too long on this. Let's move on.
We spent way too long on multiplayer ads.
All right.
We got to move on.
Microsoft expects Xbox Series X and S supply shortages to continue until April 2021. That's a long time.
I'm not surprised. This was going on for the PlayStation 4 and X1 last year. Xbox One. Yeah. This is normal. Obviously, by the time April comes, you start seeing suppliers having them. But to be honest, through the holiday season and into the new year, last time there were new consoles, there were shortages all over the place. I mean, this is a different example. You look at the Wii, for instance, though. Every Christmas, there was no Wii for 3 years straight. Like, there just wasn't. That's a different thing, obviously. This isn't new. I expect PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S to be able to roll out their systems by summer of next year. We're going to talk a little bit on whether it's worth it or not to even grab one day one or not, but later on in the stream. But I'm not surprised. I'm not.
Yeah, obviously things are a little bit different this year with COVID slowing everything down. So just everything is affected. And video games are no exception to that.
The one? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I guess it's not surprising for it to be such a long time until they think they're going to be able to meet demand because of that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like if things were normal, then, I would expect it to be like February, March when we start seeing more consoles.
Right.
But like April...
Yeah,
that's a long time.
yeah, that's true. And the thing is the one comment that I didn't really like was it says, in terms of which new console ships more units this holiday season, Xbox boss Phil Spencer believes the victor. Now, just put that word out there. The victor will be determined by production capacity as demand for the machines is far outstripping availability. Victory on a console release actually does not matter at all. Because literally...
Phil Spencer say that?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So my whole thing
seems very...
about that...
Sorry, it seems very like off character for how Xbox has recently been.
It does. But there shouldn't be a victor for console releases, first of all. And two, what he said was right. Like, whoever produces consoles faster is going to be the victor. Does that really matter
But I would also disagree with that statement.
Well, no, what they're trying to say is for the release, like let's say PlayStation 5 made 1 million consoles and Xbox Series X made 1.5 million. Xbox Series X is going to be the victor in the release because I mean,
maybe if you're just looking at release window, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that's what he was talking about. Okay. He said the victor will be determined by production capacity for new consoles.
Yeah, I guess
this
so.
Victory doesn't matter in the long run. It doesn't. Yeah. And so it's weird to talk about that and to say something like that. Obviously, there's going to be shortages. There's shortages every console. The Switch still has shortages. It's just 3.5 years later, almost 4 years, and there's still an issue. So get wrecked by Nintendo, everybody. But it's just a weird comment to make. So
it is. But we'll see how the console supply goes for both parties. In other news, a PS5 simulator for everyone who couldn't get the console. So this is great. Now, when I first read this, my mind read emulator, and I was like, "Wow, somebody's already emulating the PS5." That's
exactly
crazy.
I had to reread the entire article to get my mind around what was happening.
But no, this is not an emulator that you may find for old NES games that you can play on your PC. This is a simulator. So yes. I haven't actually gone to look at any footage of the game, but they have a screenshot, and the article talks about it a little bit. Basically, this is a simulator that allows you to play a game in which you unbox a PS5 and turn it on.
You have to. There's physics in the game. There's actual physics. You have to deal with. You have to deal with the packaging that the physical PlayStation 5 would have. And this person, because he has bad wire management, he added that into this game.
Also, your Wi-Fi randomly cutting out.
Yes, that is the thing. This guy.
Very realistic.
this is a real gamer right here. This guy, when he was not able to get that PlayStation 5, he was upset and he said, I'm getting one even if you don't make my PlayStation 5. That's what he said.
It's pretty darn funny. He has some quotes here in the article. What was this guy's name? Alex Grade was this guy's name. Shout out to him. He says, I can't afford it anytime soon, but I really want to have a PS5. So I made a game just for myself where I can imagine that I'm having a PS5.
It's so great. It's so great.
Maybe we'll touch on this later with the thankfulness. But what if instead of complaining about the fact that we can't get something we want, we just do something about it, We make it the best situation that we can. We do something about it, And it's something nice, and then we share it with others, This guy. Pat on the back. Alex Grade. Wonderful. Don't be a complainer. Be an Alex Grade. That's all I got to say about that.
Wonderful. That's crazy.
Excellent. All right. What do we have next?
So the next thing is Sony is addressing PlayStation 5's lack of web browser and 1440p support. And all right, so let's be honest. The Xbox Series X does have 1440 support, P support for the web browser. I will be completely honest. The amount of times that I've used the web browser on my PlayStation 4 is very I don't. This is not a thing that people normally use. The only times that I've used it is when I've been trying to fix something on my dad's PlayStation to be able to watch a football game via the web browser because of different things that were going on on that day or whatever. They like, it was weird. But anyways, I'm just saying that was literally it. Like there was, I don't think I've ever opened up my web browser on my PlayStation 4 ever.
It's the main reason you need like a web browser on these kind of things is so that like if you were trying to connect it to like a hotel Wi-Fi or something and they want you to go to the page and like just like confirm the sign in or whatever, like you couldn't do that. So basically you couldn't connect the PS5 to like hotel Wi-Fi right now unless it's like only accessible in that moment.
Yeah, I wonder about that. So,
because the Switch has a web browser, but it's only accessible for very specific situations where you would need it.
That's interesting. Now, I mean, do you really need to be in 1440p? Like, does it need to be scaled up to 1440p?
All right, so if I bought a PS5, I have a 1440p monitor. If I bought a PS5, I would be pretty upset that it couldn't output to my 1440p monitor natively. It'll output to it. It'll play on it just fine, but it's outputting 1080p and not 1440p. I would be upset.
I could see that, but Sony did comment on this, and they said if enough people say this is a problem and that they want it, like they said, there's no reason why we can't. I'm not too sure why they didn't do it in the first place. Why you would have to update
It's so easy to do. Like if the game runs at 1080p, not easy to do, output 1080p. But if it's a game that runs natively at 4K already, just output it to 1440, render it at 1440p. It's not hard. It's like, it's not hard. Like just do it.
For me, it doesn't like affect me. Like I'm not mad about it. This is not a make or break for me getting one system or another because I never use the web browser, to be completely honest, on these systems. However, it's a pretty easy thing to do. So I'm not too sure why it's not there in the first place. But like they said, if many people are wanting it, then apparently they're going to update the system to allow it because they can. Like, should it have been there? Probably. Does it affect me? Not really.
Yeah, the web browser thing would only be an issue for those like hotel Wi-Fi situations. And I don't know how many people actually do that. But the 1440p thing, I would be really sad if they didn't do that. I don't really see them doing it, to be honest, because I know people with 1440p monitors is probably the minority, or at least like how the like tech companies see it. because they skipped 1440 in like everything, you know. They just went straight to 4K. There's not a lot of monitors or TVs, no TVs, but not a lot of monitors marketed as 1440p, which is unfortunate because I love 1440p. It's such a good middle ground between 1080p and 4K for PC gaming specifically, because you still get a little bit of extra sharpness compared to 1080p, but it's not as hard to run graphically as 4K. So I love 1440p, and there's a ton of other PC gamers that have 1440p monitors, but we're probably the minority. Unfortunately, there's still a ton of people still on 1080p, and a lot of people just jump straight to 4K. So I'd be very surprised if they actually did it, if they're looking for demand, because I just don't feel like there's going to be a lot of demand. I would be one of those people that wanted to see it, like I said, because I have a 1440p monitor. If I got PlayStation 5, I would like to run the game at 1440p.
Well, doesn't the game run at 1440p, just not the web browser?
No, these are two completely separate conversations.
No, that's what I mean. It says Noshino says that this is because Sony wanted to focus on TV support at first, but notes that there's no technical reason why it couldn't be done and maybe added if the company decides there's enough demand.
Yeah,
so
because
that
TVs aren't made at 1440p.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, you know, the web browser thing and the 1440p thing are like completely separate.
Gotcha. It's still very interesting. I don't know. For like I said, for me, it doesn't really affect me. I don't even have a 1440p monitor, but I think in 3-4 years, the demand will probably be up there. I would think so.
For 1440p?
I would think the demand will go up a little bit. You don't think so? In that many years? No?
4K is becoming standard, and now people are going to start trying to push 8K. There's no reason for companies to try to push 1440p unless they're trying to push it on a PC monitor for the people that actually like the resolution.
That's true. That's very true.
I don't think we'll see it grow, unfortunately.
Okay. Makes sense.
But I could be wrong. Who knows?
Makes sense.
All right. So in other interesting, more PC gaming specific news, Nvidia delivers an 85% frame rate boost to Call of Duty Cold War thanks to DLSS. Now, Buzz, do you know what DLSS is?
I do, because I read about it.
Okay. Tell me what you know. What you got?
So DLSS, I'm just going to read it from this paragraph here. It says it's Nvidia's performance boosting and image prettyifying, I love that word, technology. In a perfect rendered nutshell, DLSS allows games to run at lower and less demanding resolutions, but be scaled up to mimic the visual fidelity of higher resolutions, courtesy of clever AI algorithms. Now, the thing this is really cool. An 85% frame rate boost. This means you could go from 30 frames to like 75, 80 frames like that per second. That's really good. Like this is not a bad thing. Obviously, you're going to take a hit on some other things for sure. You know, how good the game looks, but the smoothness of everything else. I know that this is not fully out yet and this is new technology. This is really cool stuff whoever thought of this, I shake your hand, my friend. I shake your hand. This is really cool stuff.
Yeah. So this is basically, the AI upscaling tech that I was talking about that they could implement for like a Switch Pro or something like that. It's just upscaling, but it's like super intelligent AI upscaling. And when DLSS first launched, they used to train the AI with the games themselves. But I think what they ran into with that was there wasn't really enough to train the AI to get good enough within just the game itself. So they actually just started training the AI with basically whatever. So just like videos and images and stuff. And that allowed the AI to get a lot better. And then they just apply that to games. So there is a little bit of manual work that needs to be done from what I know to actually enable it for a specific title, which is why we see it coming out specifically for Cold War. And it's out for other games as well. But it makes a huge difference. Basically, you just run the game at a lower resolution, and then it's upscaling it to 4K. But whereas generic upscaling, it's really not going to look that good because you're just duplicating pixels and like putting them where they probably go. What DLSS is doing is it's looking at the image and it's being like, okay, this is what the image is. It's like, this is a car, and then this is what a car needs to look like at 4K. So like it's thinking like that, and it's just doing it very intelligently. So it's easier to do that than it is to run the game natively at 4K, and you get nearly identical to native 4K.
Yeah, I was reading this article and I was already impressed, but then I saw they have a graph, a chart with a bar graph, and literally when I saw this graph, this is what really made my eyes open up to what this thing can actually do. So, for instance, the RTX 3090 running at about, what does that say, 68 frames?
Yep.
I think it's really small numbers. It would essentially upscale it to 124.8 frames. That is crazy. That's huge. That's over 120 frames per. It's out of this world.
And that's with the ray tracing.
I mean, yeah, with ray tracing. This is not like taking any of that stuff out. So this is good stuff.
Crazy.
I mean, I'm just, and now it's like, all right, we need a PS6 now, like that with this capability. That's what we need. Yeah. Leave everything else in dust. Play Miles Morales in 120 frames per second with ray tracing.
That's right.
So you can see the shadows and reflections and all the greatness of the game has. This is cool. I like this.
Very cool. And I think, honestly, this is one of the biggest strengths NVIDIA has. Even with the competition of AMD's new cards coming out really, really soon, and we're really close to having actual performance numbers from them. I was hoping we could talk about that today, but the performance numbers just aren't out yet. But things like DLSS and their other things that they offer, like even if AMD meets the raw performance of NVIDIA still has a lot to offer. Yeah. So
you might not be interested in DLSS, but this is something that some people will say, you know what? I was thinking about getting AMD because of the price, but now there's no reason for me not to get NVIDIA because it's going to actually outdo AMD just because of this specifically. So it's really cool. It's really neat technology that they came out with. I like that a lot.
Indeed. Yes. All right. What do we got next on the docket?
The next is Google is giving free Stadia gaming kits to YouTube Premium subscribers. I am very sorry to those of you that are becoming premium subscribers today, because you cannot get it anymore
in the US.
In the US. It's no longer available. You can in the UK. So you UK people out there, you yokers, congratulations. Those of you in the US, I am very sorry, but you can no longer get your free Stadia gaming kit. This is interesting.
I think it goes to show how well Stadia is doing, because this is a $100 value.
Yes,
it's a Stadia controller and a Chromecast Ultra,
and a lot of people have premium. A lot of people.
Well, I think it was only new people signing up for it, maybe, or maybe you just had to claim it manually. But
I think you just had to claim it, if I remember right. But
maybe.
But yeah, so what does this kit feature? It has one Stadia controller in addition to a Chromecast Ultra. Now, that isn't like the newest Chromecast that's out there. It's an older model, but I mean, let's be honest, this is not a bad feature. It's like Unworthy Sarah said, $100 worth in this package. Stadia, it's funny because I don't hear a lot about Stadia. To be completely honest, I personally don't know if I know somebody like personally that owns a Stadia. I've heard of people owning it. I've met people who own it. I don't know anybody personally that actually owns a Stadia. So this is kind of interesting.
Well, it's not really owning a Stadia. Stadia subscription, but
yes, that's true. But regardless of all of that, Stadia is doing well, and it's got new titles. Some of their titles were releasing not on release dates, but they did state that Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, they arrived at the same time that it did on every other console. So, I mean, it's growing, it's doing well. I don't
know if it's doing well.
you don't think so? I think it's doing okay.
I feel like they wouldn't be doing this if it was doing well.
True.
Just because it's gotten better doesn't mean it's doing well, especially for Google, because they like to do things and then improve on them over like a year, and then they see that it didn't work and then they shut it down. So,
well, I mean,
that's just what Google does.
That's very true. Amazon does that too. Crucible. So yeah, I mean, it's a good promotion for Stadia for people. I mean, people are going to be like, oh, why don't I get the subscription? I'm going to get $100 worth. And honestly, the controller's not that bad. Let's be honest. It's a pretty neat controller. So
it looks sleek.
Yeah, it looks like a nice controller. It's kind of got more of a PlayStation 4 feel than anything else. But I mean, it's a sleek controller. So,
well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see where Stadia is in 6 months. We'll check back in with it then.
yeah. We don't talk about Stadia a whole lot here. But in other news, let's move on. This is probably Unworthy Sarah's favorite thing this year. This whole year. I don't know about that. Many of you guys
there's a lot of things I would put above this, but
that's true. But we talked about Super Mario 3D All-Stars a while back, and Seraph had stated one specific thing. Well, sorry, two specific things. One was the control, not the controller, but the way what was it? You could not
inverted joystick.
You couldn't do it inverted joystick. And he was upset about that. Then the other thing he was upset about is it wasn't compatible with your GameCube controller.
And they already let you use for Smash.
Sunshine should be compatible with the GameCube controller. So yeah, Smash Ultimate isn't even a GameCube game, but you come out with a GameCube game and you don't make it compatible. So what did they do 2 months ago? They allowed you to make an inverted joystick. And now we're receiving an update. And what is that update, Unworthy Seraph?
It lets you use the GameCube controller with Sunshine natively. And they fixed the inverted thing. Apparently they did that like a month ago. But
yeah, it was like
they let you change
2 months ago. Yep.
So this is really interesting. One, I'm a little salty because I already beat Sunshine, but maybe now I have some more incentive to 100% it. But this is very interesting to me because usually Nintendo releases something and they're done with it. Yeah. They just let it take its course, especially for something like this, because this is a time-limited game. Like, this is going to go away completely. So I find it very, very interesting, and hopefully being like a good thing to expect in the future, more of this, is that they're actually like listening and like updating whatever issues people had with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally, for me, it doesn't matter too much because I never played Sunshine. I would be interested to see how it feels on a GameCube controller, though, because I do have to say there are a lot of people that say the movement in Sunshine has already been a big topic of discussion along many gamers, regardless of what you play it on, GameCube or the new game that came out. It's a bit of a touchy subject for many people. However, I would be interested to see how it plays on a GameCube controller because you have concave sections. How do you on the joystick?
Concave and convex?
No, I can't. There's wedges in the joystick. So
yes.
What is that called? I don't even know if there's a name for that. Maybe, but there's no
diagonal wedges. Like
but not
that doesn't really matter for Sunshine.
That. For me, I think it would. There were times that I was my direction was wrong because I didn't have that. I was going off a little bit to the side when I wanted to go straight, whatever it was. I was thinking maybe this would help. It might not at all.
I just think the GameCube joystick feels better than the Pro Controller joystick.
That makes sense.
I like how snappy it is, and I think that's really good for Sunshine.
I was excited for Sunshine. I'm not gonna lie. I had a tough time getting into it. I really did. I tried for a few days and it was tough for me to get into. I got through a few levels and then I was
definitely feeling the movement at first. The like issues with it. And I still do to some extent. But I got used to it after I played it for a little bit, and it didn't feel like I was being like super hindered by the movement.
If the whole game was the platforming levels, I would 100% the game. The platforming levels I have such a good time with, but everything else,
if you beat the game, you can go back and get another shine from the platforming levels, where you have to collect 8 red coins in the level.
See, that's legit. I enjoyed the platforming levels. That was my favorite part about the game when I was going through it. Definitely platforming levels. But regardless of that, so if you guys have Super Mario 3D All-Stars, you guys can now play Sunshine, only Sunshine. You can't play this with the N64 Super Mario 64 or Galaxy with GameCube controller. Only Sunshine. But hey, if you're one of those people that grew up with GameCube,
let's go.
Congratulations, you got it. You do have to buy an adapter.
Yes.
You do have to buy the adapter.
Then you can play Super Mario Sunshine while you wear your Super Mario shoes.
Super Mario shoes? What are you talking about, Unworthy Sarah?
Well, you see, Super Mario Trainer Collection has been announced by Puma. So you can get yourself some Super Mario shoes. There's like 3 different styles. And I don't know if I would buy any of these.
I wouldn't. So the 3 styles, they are Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. The
Galaxy one's actually pretty good.
The Galaxy ones aren't bad.
It's pretty good.
The Sunshine looks a little bit girly, and the 64 kind of looks like you're growing up in the 80s or 70s. I mean,
let me open this up and show the people.
I was about to say, we might have to show this.
The
Galaxy ones, they're a little bit too much for me. I'm not a big fan of shoes. Mine are black like that. That's what I am. I'm just a very plain person with my shoes. But the Galaxy ones out of these 3 do look the best. I think it would have been cool if they did an all black shoe with the blue. But these are interesting, guys. So as you guys know, 2020 is a year that was supposed to be specifically for Mario. 35th anniversary, everything Mario this year.
Here they are, friends.
Here they are. Here are the shoes. I think so. If you guys can't tell, the one on the left is Super Mario 64. That's the one that I think looks a little bit like you're growing up in the 80s.
Yep.
The one on the right looks a little bit girly for me, and that's Sunshine. The one in the middle, not horrible, but that's Galaxy. I think that would have been cool if it was an all black shoe with some blue trim on it.
Mm.
My opinion.
Yeah, middle one's definitely the best, I think.
Yeah.
But interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely.
Would you guys buy Super Mario shoes? Let us know.
I would not buy Super Mario shoes, but I do have to say these are being released on November 27th. These are going to be shoes that most people will not wear the day that they get them. They're just going to keep them in their box. They're just going to be a collector's. But December 4th is the release of another shoe, guys. And honestly, these ones kind of look cool. They're right under that one on the same document.
I didn't see that.
Or same article. They're Nintendo shoes being released on December 4th. These actually look okay.
Interesting.
I actually do like these ones. So they're classic NES colors, and I mean, I think they look great. The tongue has a little Super Mario character on it from the cover of Super Mario 1. This looks fine to me. I wouldn't wear them because they're collectors, but like if I had to wear them in public,
check them out, friends.
I'd probably wear these in public and be completely okay with it. Like these are nice. These are nice shoes.
I can appreciate at the very least how they tied the old school NES design into a shoe. Very well done.
Yeah. Now, here's my question. The one on the right obviously is the biggest picture, and it has the power button on the bottom right. The other ones don't. Why?
Maybe they just didn't want to make smaller versions of that little plastic thing.
I don't know. It's just an interesting. Does that shoe power on?
We spent too long talking about shoes.
LA lights. But anyways, guys, that is another issue. So, guys, now I'm going to give you something. I have my thoughts on this. This is thoughts on. There's been a lot of people saying, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S should not have released yet. There's no games that are compatible with just those systems. I understand the criticism against that. And I understand a lot of people are like, I got my PlayStation 5. I want to play something on it now. I want to go back to last generation, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Xbox One had a game that came out called Rise. I can't remember. It's like Rise. It was something of Rome, Son of Rome. And then the PlayStation 4 had Knack. Now I know there was other ones. There's Shadowfall from Killzone and all that other stuff. These were very subpar games. Okay. They didn't do well in the reviews. They were fun to an extent, but people got bored of them really quickly. Insomniac said from Miles Morales, the game that they made that's on the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5, that they're just scraping the surface of the PlayStation 5. I would be very upset if something like Horizon Zero Dawn, which is coming out for PlayStation 4 as well, which I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit salty about, God of War, other big games, if those came out on release day of the PlayStation 5, I would be very upset. And the reason why is because they would not be as good as if when they come out in 2, 3, 4 years down the line, because as the console gets older and older, developers, their tech is going to grow. They're going to be able to understand more of what the system can actually push and the power that it can push out. I'm okay with this, that there's nothing coming out. I know a lot of people are salty, but I'll be honest. Like I said, if something came out that was a big name game for Xbox or PlayStation, and they were just barely scraping the surface when they could take 3-4 years to learn about the power of this new monstrous console, I'll take the 3 to 4 years before I get a good game that's like that. Like God of War came out at the end of PlayStation 4 era, and that was a good made game. Like, it was beautifully made. Spider-Man, wonderful made game, coming out towards the end of, only 2 years before a new console came out. So that's my thoughts on it. But I know a lot of people are salty, but I just wanted to say this is not a bad thing. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah. It does seem like we go through this with pretty much every console generation. You mentioned the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and the exclusives that released for those two at the time. Other than exclusives, you have all the Call of Duties and stuff that also release on the previous one because they don't want to lose out on sales right away. There's really not a whole lot of reason to get a brand new console unless you want the one game. I feel like the Switch had the best launch title ever with Breath of the Wild.
But even that was on the Wii U.
True. Also, but a lot of people skipped the Wii U or were waiting for Zelda.
Very true. Yeah, I mean, the Wii U was outsold in 3 days by the Switch. That was just they only sold 12 million units. Feels bad.
This isn't abnormal for there to not really be any games for the new console.
Right.
It's very standard.
And I wanted to touch on this. River said, "Why salty about Horizon Zero Dawn? What is it called? Far Wilds or Far
Frozen
West,
I think.
Frozen West." So the reason why I'm a little bit salty about it is because it's coming out on the PlayStation 4 as well. By doing this, you're going to have to scale down a lot of what the game should be able to hold on the PlayStation 5. That's why I'm a little bit salty.
It depends on kind of the design ideas that they had for the game.
Right.
If they were intending it to be much of the same, then it's really simple just to dial back the graphics a little bit and have it running on the PlayStation 4 as well. The only case that I would be upset about it is if it held back their vision for the game. Yeah. Which might not be the case.
It might not be, but I don't know. I just feel like you can do so much more with these new consoles. You can do so much more with them. That's right.
Thank you.
So you can do so much more. Yeah, Frozen West sounded.
It didn't sound quite right, but I knew it was close.
That's like a mix of like the DLC and the new game coming out or something like that. But anyways, I mean, that's the reason why I'm a little salty about it. It still looks great. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like if it was just on the PlayStation 5, you'd be getting a lot more content or whatever it might be. If it was just on that, but at the same time, there's always this weird transition phase with consoles as the new console comes out. People are breaking up with their old ones, getting the new ones. There's always a weird transition phase. I'm just okay with the way they did it this time. Last time, Knack was just weird. I never played it. They even came out with a Knack 2. it just did it like it did okay, but it wasn't great. Like I never played it personally, but it was weird. And then you had Killzone Shadowfall. It did okay. Rise, Son of Man.
Son of Rum.
It got like Son of Rum.
Saint No Jesus
Son
Christ.
of Man. Wow. Anyways, it did okay. Like it got like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. So I'm okay with this.
Yeah. The thing that I wonder about Spider-Man, especially with that quote you read where they said that they're just scratching the surface of it. I do wonder if Spider-Man was kind of rushed just to be like a launch title and sell consoles. Because obviously having a good launch title is super important. I mean, we saw Breath of the Wild single-handedly sell the Switch for months. Because like the Switch didn't have a whole lot.
If it was rushed, I don't think it would be getting as good as ratings.
So,
I think they already had this in mind because
Sure.
I'm playing through the original Spider-Man right now, and you can tell like from the storyline and everything else, like this game was already being made like a
Sure.
long time before this game even came out. So,
But
yeah.
So for one thing, the new one is a smaller game, as far as like story content and stuff.
Yes.
Than the first one. So that would be the hardest thing to, make for the sequel, especially since they're reusing the same map. So it's not so much that maybe it was rushed, but that like, did it hold back their vision for it? Kind of like what I was saying with Zero Dawn, and like the graphical updates, while they look good, I'm sure it was basically just put in ray tracing and turn some dials up. Like, probably all they did for the most part. I'm sure there's a little more than that. I'm not trying to discredit the work the developers did by any means. But just hearing them say they've barely scratched the surface, I wonder what more they could have done. And because of the game being smaller, I do wonder if they sized down their vision a little bit just to have it ready for launch. Not that it was rushed, but that they just settled for less, essentially.
Right. Somebody asked, is it possible to get a PS5 before Christmas?
Good luck.
Yes. Good luck. Get on those email lists if you want to play. If you want to pay the price, the actual price, rather than going on eBay and buying a $2,000 system. Yes, somebody sold it for $2,000. It's going to be hard. It's going to be very hard. But there are Sony has already said that they are going to have. They're going to continue releasing it when they're able to in different, Best Buy, Walmart, Amazon. They're going to do their best to push out the consoles, but it's going to be very hard, especially with those scalpers out there that have bots, unfortunately. I think what both Sony and Microsoft should have done is allow 1 or 2 consoles per home. If they did that, the bots... They could probably make a bot to get around that, but it may have allowed people to be able to get, because there are some people that just went on and bought multiple consoles just to sell it on eBay. Unfortunately, that people that aren't gamers or are and just waiting, just to make a few extra dollars. So it's possible. It's gonna be very tough though. I personally don't think it's worth to buy a PlayStation 5 right now unless you're a content creator. That's my personal opinion. I don't think there's anything worth getting it. I can play Miles Morales on my PlayStation 4 and still enjoy it. I might have to wait for loading times and it might not look as pretty, but I'm okay with that. I will enjoy that game. And then once newer games come out, then it will be time for me to pick up a PlayStation 5 in the future. So.
But I think that about does it for that conversation. Guys, I got my first Fall Guys win.
Hey,
I'm so happy.
How did you feel? I've won Fall Guys about, 10 times, 11 times. I haven't won yet, season 2, but how did it feel to get your first win?
Yeah. So I got it on Jump Showdown, which I always felt like was going to be where I would get my first win. Because I feel like it's the easiest one. I got pretty good at it.
I have issues.
So the only problem I would run into is like every time I would get into like a final 2 or 3 situation where the other guy is just as good as me. And then we're both just sitting there jumping for like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Just waiting for somebody to fail. So I had been in that situation like 2 or 3 times already, and I'd always choke. One time I even tried to like mess up the other guy because we'd been jumping for like 2 minutes, and I was like, it has to end somewhere. I'm going to try to mess him up. And then in me trying to mess him up, I died. But this time
I've done that way too many times.
I finally edged it out after like 3 to 5 minutes of jumping and just laser focusing.
Now, did you try to mess him up?
No.
Did he try to mess you up?
Nope, we just jumped.
Wow, that's respect right there. Normally what happens to me is everybody's respecting one another, and I'm like, all right, this is going on too long. There's still 9 people here, and nobody has gone off yet, and I'll try to push somebody off, and I get knocked off. So,
and then I almost won a second game on Hexagon. I was doing so good. I was like way up. I had a ton of real estate, and I was using everything that I had, and then I like jumped over to one single thing. And then I was going to jump right back because I was like, I don't want this one hexagon that I skip to be the difference between me winning. What if that's what it takes to win? And then I messed up the jump on the way back. And I was like, nah.
Feels bad.
There was like 2 other people left. I was like, I can win this. But I choked. I didn't. Honestly, I haven't played a ton of Fall Guys. You played way more than I did.
At the beginning, I did. I played. I've won on Fall Mountain multiple times. I've won on Hexagon a couple times, and I think I won the tail tag one is so stupid, but I've won on that one once. I hate tail tag with every bone in my body. I think all tail tags should just die and never relive them again, or put it in its own category where you can actually just take out. I love the game. Just take out tail tag. It's horrible. Even Hoops a Daisy is better than that one. I don't even like that one. But regardless of that, I have not won on the jump one that you were just talking about. That's the newest one. That's actually the newest one for ending the game.
Is it?
Yep. It came out about a month after the game came out or so. That wasn't out when the game released, but it came out with an update. And
I don't remember that.
I don't think there's none others that are there yet for winning the game.
Yeah, I don't think so.
As far as
any final rounds, I don't think so.
So, but yeah, so well, congratulations on your first crown, your first win. You're like Tim the Tapman now. You have as many wins as him. Now you just need one more, and you beat Tim the Tapman.
I could be better than Tim the Tapman. Let's go.
Anyways, guys, I know we're hitting up on an hour, but we did want to do a couple extra things with you guys. This week, we have a topic for you, a Be Thankful topic, and we'll go through it a little bit quickly. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and honestly, 2020 has been a very rough year with a disease that is deadly to a lot of people, with elections and people getting all crazy about elections. It's hard to not get caught up in those things. It's going to be a year that's not easily forgettable, but it's definitely a year where it's hard to be thankful as well in a lot of different ways. And so we want to talk to you guys about being thankful and how you can be thankful during such hectic times. Maybe you're going through personal issues. Maybe it's all the issues that I just mentioned that you guys are like, how can I possibly be thankful this year? It doesn't seem like I can. So we have a couple of things that we wanted to bring to the table for you guys to help you during this Thanksgiving season of how to stay thankful.
Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to touch on with you guys, obviously, as Boz mentioned, 2020 is very different. Seems like there's just all things going on, and it's a rough year. It's a rough year for a lot of people. And I don't want to downplay that by any means. But even at the same time, even though it's been a rough year for all of us, you know, if you have an internet connection right now, you're very blessed. Like yep. Let's just be straight honest. Like, if you are listening to this podcast, you are very blessed. Let's be honest. Yep. Whether you're listening on a smartphone or a computer or whatever, you have access to technology and an internet connection. And that is not something that people get to enjoy in different parts of the world. You know, we have running water, things like that. Like, guys, I know things are tough right now. I do. I'm not trying to downplay that at all. But we're so blessed, a lot of us, to just be where we are and to have the opportunities that we do. We have so many luxuries that just not everyone gets to experience. And we take that for granted a lot of the time. It's easy to, for sure, especially when we haven't really seen firsthand some of those situations, where people aren't that blessed. You know, maybe some of you have like been on a missions trip or something, and you've seen people that are less fortunate. And maybe to you, it's a little easier to put into perspective, but for those of us that haven't, like, this is all we know. Like, it's hard to put that into perspective for sure. But just remind ourselves, guys, like, we are so blessed. There's so much to be thankful for, even though the world is crazy and we don't know what's going on with anything. Like, we have roofs over our heads, we have internet. Like, it could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that real quick. I myself have been on a mission trip. I won't say to where, but I was in a very, very small village. I wouldn't even call it a town. But unfortunately, this little small area was technically called a wealthy village in this country. The reason why it was called a wealthy village was because the people in that village were making up to $80 a year. Not a month, not a week, a year. And it was called wealthy. They did not have running. I mean, some areas had running water in the village, I'm sure. But I mean, they didn't have running water for the bathrooms. The bathrooms was one little cement outhouse that you went out to. You didn't have bathrooms in your home normally. You would go out there and go to the bathroom. And I went in there just to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't. I actually had to walk out because of the smell, and also what the host told me would happen when I went to the bathroom. So I decided to step out and hold it for another 2 hours before we got home. It was that bad. So I've seen it firsthand. And I remember when I got home, just remembering what those people were struggling with, and it helped me to be able to understand like how thankful I am to be able to have a bathroom in my house, to be able to eat food whenever I wanted, because these people, they didn't have a lot. And the thing that broke my heart was there's this little kid. I'm pretty sure this is what my friend told me when we were coming back, because me and my friend went on this mission trip. I didn't realize it at the time, but one of the kids, he was holding a puppy, and the puppy was dead. He was holding it though. And it broke my heart to hear that, because this kid was just holding on to something that he probably once loved, but unfortunately for one reason or another couldn't take care of it. And he was just holding on to it wherever he went. He was just holding on to this dead puppy. And being in that little village, it brought tears to my eyes. It did. And the other thing that I thought was interesting, and this was one of the great moments, was we went with bags of candy. And when we pulled out the candy, there was just hundreds of kids that came out of the school, and they just flooded the street and started like pouncing on us, trying to get the candy. And so it was such a small thing. It was, but it was just so cool to be able to see that. But once again, they were getting a lollipop. I'm sitting here with Call of Duty Modern Warfare on my monitor. I have Breath of the Wild on my Switch, and I'm currently playing through Spider-Man on my PlayStation 4. And then there's times I'm sitting here, I'm like, man, I'm so bored. What nothing could get worse than this. And, but then I think
it's true
back
though, we
to
do that.
Listen,
we all do it.
It's a great age to be a gamer. I'm not gonna lie. It used to be I'm bored and I don't know what to play. Now it's I have too many good games to play and I don't know what to play.
We just can't be happy.
We can't, and that's the problem. But these kids, they were so happy over a lollipop. And I'm sitting here with all like a PC, a Switch, and a PlayStation 4 5 feet away from me, and I'm upset that I can't get a PlayStation 5 on day one. Like, we have good things. I'm not saying that all of you are in a similar situation that I am. Maybe you're worse off. Maybe you're better off than I am. That's okay. I'm not, saying anything, but we need to try to be thankful for everything that we have, because we do have a lot of luxuries, and whatever luxury we have, we should try to be thankful for those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wanted to touch on one other thing, and I'm going to spin something else into it that I didn't write down, but I think would be good to address. Obviously there's tons of like mental struggles that people face nowadays as well. And I think a lot of those are connected to just kind of how fortunate we are. We have more time to worry about things, in a sense, and things like that. But again, I don't want to downplay anybody's mental struggles or anything. Obviously, we can be in situations where we're very blessed, maybe have everything that we need and everything that we want, but you could still be struggling mentally, and that's a really serious thing. And but I think this next point that I wanted to make is especially going to help those of you that may be in a situation like that, and that is the fact that you can be thankful no matter what your situation is. Like even these people that are so less fortunate than us, they don't have access to like running water and things like that. Like they can be thankful too for what they have. And it's all about perspective. Just like, love is not just a feeling, we choose to love. I don't know if we talked about that on YokeTalk before, but yeah, that's a thing.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll talk about that on Valentine's Day, February next year. We'll see. But
Hey.
love's not just a feeling. It's a choice. It's an action. And thankfulness is the same way. It's a choice. It's a perspective. You can choose to be thankful no matter what you're facing, no matter what the circumstance is. And even just trying, I know it's hard, but even just trying to get yourself into that mindset of like, I'm going to be thankful for what I have, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, you could be facing something really, really hard right now. And I don't want to downplay that at all by any means. And if that's you, we would love to talk to you and help you along with that in any way that we can. But there's always something to be thankful for. There's always a positive side. So I challenge you guys to find that and to choose to be thankful for whatever you can be, even though things are tough and you might be struggling right now. And I think Boz's next suggestion here will be a great concrete way to help you do that.
Yeah, for sure. So what my suggestion for this, that might help you guys. And, as Seraph was saying, there's so many things that you can be thankful for. And I think a lot of times people that are in worse situations are more thankful than those that are in better situations, to be completely honest to you. I think a lot of people that don't have a lot, they're thankful for more things. They're thankful that they wake up in the morning and they're still alive. People that are thankful that they can walk and grab some running water because they don't have a lot of other things to be thankful for. Whereas today, I think even me personally, I have so much to be thankful for that I think I take it for granted.
Yeah.
And I'm not always thankful for those things. I have a great family. A lot of people have broken families. I have a great marriage. A lot of people have broken marriages, things of that nature. And it's sad to say that, but I think I take a lot of those things for granted. So I suggest to you guys not to do so. But the thing I wanted to touch on here, I haven't done this yet. I'll be honest, but I should. And I think this is something that I've been thinking about for a while. And I put down here, make a list of what you are thankful for. The reason why I want you guys to do this is because when you do this, you're going to have times when you feel like you cannot be thankful for anything. You're going to have times where somebody in your family is sick. You're going to have times when you're sick. You're going to have times when it's just been a stressful day at work and you just don't know how you're going to get through the rest of the week or the rest of the month. You just have no idea. But when you have those times, it's really hard to be thankful for anything. I've had those times in my life. I will be completely honest with you. The last 4 years of my life, I had days where my mom would be like, well, what do you have to be thankful for? Because she was trying to get me through a really rough time in my life. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, I have absolutely nothing to be thankful for. And she said, nothing at all. And I said, nothing that I care about. And that kind of broke her heart. And listening to myself say it now, I'm like, wow, how deep of a dark time was I in during that moment? Obviously, I've had a lot of hard times in my life that I've been through. I'm sure many of you have and had those moments as well. But make a list of what you're thankful for so that when you do have those dark moments, when you're thinking like there's nothing to be thankful for, you can open up that notebook or book or journal
or note on your phone.
It is, or note on your phone and look at what you have to be thankful for. And it will help you during that time. It will help you to be able to get out of that dark moment. Because I can tell you, there's times that I'm like, okay, I need to write down what God has done for me, because a lot of times I don't think he's answering my prayers. But then when I open up to that piece of paper that says what God has answered in my life, I'm like, okay, this is what God can do in my life. And so on the flip side, for thankfulness, what do I have to be thankful for? What has God blessed you with in your life? That is what you can be thankful for. And then you can say to yourself, okay, you know what? I'm going through a dark time right now. It doesn't seem like there's a lot that I can be thankful for, but these things right here on this list, that's what I can be thankful for.
Yeah, great stuff. I think just making that list, whether a physical list or digital list on your phone, whatever you want to do, just list everything you're thankful for. Like, Like right now, I'm thankful for tea. I started drinking tea. Like, tea's great. I'm thankful for tea. I'm thankful for my phone.
Purified water.
I'm thankful for my chapstick, so I don't have to have chapped lips all the time. Like,
oh, dude, chapped lips is the worst.
Guys, you can fill this list. Let's be honest. We can fill a list like that, and I think that'll really, really help all of us just put into perspective how blessed we are and how much we have to be thankful for. So really, really great stuff. I loved that. It was a great discussion.
It was a good topic.
I loved it.
I enjoyed that topic.
I saw you guys loving it in the chat, so that's great. We'll go ahead and skip the reminiscing. Maybe we'll do that next week because we're already going pretty late. But
so question for you: are you going to be here next week?
So I won't be here. And at first, I thought I was going to be like in the middle of traveling on Tuesday.
That's what I thought.
But travel plans have changed, so I probably be able to do it.
Okay.
So if you're down, I'm down.
Hey,
and maybe we'll just jump. We'll grab Ace for fun. Why not?
I mean, I'm down for it. I'm down for YokeTalk anytime.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, we'll probably do it next week
because next week is
a couple days before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, a couple days. That's true. Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving.
No,
I'm not going to be with my family this year.
Feels bad.
Nothing to be thankful for. I got to go look at my list.
Oh my gosh, you got to make a list first.
I got to make a list.
Done it.
That's true. That's true.
Make a list.
Look at your lists. Make the list. Look at the lists.
As it is episode 20, was something we started doing at episode 10 was basically just every 10 episodes we're gonna do something special. And until we think of something better to do, that something special is just a short Q&A, maybe 10, 15 minutes. I don't want to keep us too long, but if you guys have any questions at all, it could be about what we were just talking about, the thankfulness discussion. It could be about anything gaming related with the PlayStation 5 or Xbox or things like that. If you want our thoughts on whatever, anything, you can ask us absolutely anything.
Right.
So get your questions in, and maybe while you guys do that, maybe we will reminisce just a little bit. I have loved YokeTalk. It's been great.
Like, I have too.
It's so simple. I feel like it's so simple, but it's just great, you know? And I think what makes it work so well is like we have like a pretty good history as friends and stuff. Like we got really, really close. And so like our conversations are they're really natural, and we both like know what to expect from each other.
This is how our normal conversations how they go on a daily basis. Yeah. So that's what the YokeTalk essentially is.
Yeah. It's been great.
The thing that many of you don't know was this has been an idea in the making for a while. So we used to think like back in the day, we used to do our dual streams. You guys remember dual streams? That's reminiscing.
The days.
We're going to have one soon because we have ideas. We've had ideas for like a year and a half, but it's coming. But anyways, this has been something that's been in the making for a while, where we would be like, wouldn't it be really cool if we had like a podcast one day where we just talk about gaming? And then one day we were like, okay, let's do this. And it took 2 months, but we got it and we're here. So
we did it.
It's
took a little while, but we did it. So keep getting your guys' questions in, anything at all that you may have. We have a question coming in from Pajamas and Games. He says, does it mean you're not thankful if you just feel pain? Sometimes when I voice, I feel pain. All I get back what are you thankful? Oh, all I get back is, what are you thankful for? So does it mean you're not thankful if you just feel pain?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Listen, there's been times where I've had a lot of pain in my life, let me put it this way. I was diagnosed back in 2018 with multiple sclerosis. Many of you know that. Many of you don't know that. It's a thing that just happened. It's something that I deal with, and I don't really struggle with it too much because of the medicine I'm on, but I deal with that on a daily basis. Does that mean that I'm not thankful when I'm having a bad day with my left knee, let's just say, because my left knee gives me problems sometimes, but that doesn't mean that I can't be thankful for. So for instance, I know you're not just talking about physical pain, it can be emotional as well. But for instance, when my knee normally hurts in the warm weather, I love to golf. So when I go out golfing, my knee gives me some issues. But sometimes the reason why I love golf is, I enjoy the game of it, but there's times that I'm just standing there in the middle of the fairway It's beautiful surroundings. You can hear water, whatever, the birds chirping. It's silent, and I'm just standing in the middle of the sun, and I just close my eyes, and it's just it like I could just feel like God's presence, honestly, on a golf course. I know it's weird for some of you to hear that, but this is what I do. And I'm thankful for my knee can be throbbing, but in that moment, I don't care about my knee necessarily. It's hurting, but that doesn't mean I can't be thankful for something at the same time.
Yeah, I think some of it goes back to perspective, like we talked about earlier. Like, yeah, you might be facing something really hard. You might feel pain or depression or anxiety or anything like that, but we can choose to be thankful. And that doesn't mean that it just changes everything and suddenly we're not depressed and suddenly we're not having anxiety. Like sometimes it doesn't change much. It might make a little bit of a difference, and sometimes that difference is what matters. But you can still be thankful even if you're in pain or depressed or anything like that, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Next question comes in from Erkspan. He says, do you guys like the new Demon Souls?
I wish I could play it.
I have not played or really watched Demon Souls at all. I have no thoughts.
It was the first before Dark Souls. It was the first. It's the only Soulsborne series other than whatchamajigger, the newest one, Sekiro. Yeah. I haven't played Sekiro yet, but I want to. It's the only one that I haven't played. I played all the Dark Souls. I played Bloodborne. I want to play it. That's like the main reason I want a PS5 right now. Like I want to play Demon Soul. It looks beautiful. It looks gorgeous. And the funny thing is, I was surprised when I heard this. It actually doesn't use ray tracing.
And it's a PS3 game, right?
It was originally a 360 PS3 game, yeah.
Yeah, this isn't even last gen. Like we're talking about how they come out with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One games for the new consoles. Like they're coming out with old school games now.
From what I've heard, it's like just as janky too. Like they just gave it like an Uber facelift, but like functionally it's like the same. So I'm like,
that's normally what happens on most remasters. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, so I have no opinions, but I mean, it would be cool to experience something like that. So
yeah, if you guys got any other questions, we would love to answer those. Sorry to hear about your grandmother pajamas and games. That's awful.
I didn't know about that. Yeah, Mordecus just experienced a loss as well. Loss is very hard to deal with, and the thing is those are painful times for sure. It will get easier over time. I wouldn't say it gets easier over time. You deal with it over time. Mm-hmm. You continue to deal with it more and more.
You learn how to deal with it.
The sad moments turn into joyful memories. There's a lot of times that you're gonna have a sad moment, but you're gonna think of those joyful memories as well. And over time, you will be okay. But it's absolutely definitely okay to feel pain, but you can still be thankful during those times. Pain is a very real feeling, and it's okay to feel pain for sure.
For sure. I think a lot of the a big thing for a lot of like mental health issues is just like kind of that first step of like recognizing that like, yes, I do struggle with this. But then taking that to the next step and realizing that like, it's okay to feel this way. Like it's okay to feel this way. Even if you may feel like it's not, like maybe you feel like, oh, I'm just worrying about nothing. Well, that's fine. I mean, obviously it's not great for you to be in that mindset, but like if you're worried and anxious and depressed about something, it doesn't matter how simple it might be, because it's making you feel that way. And that's something that nobody should have to struggle with. And but it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. And like, it's not like you're less of a person because you're depressed. It's not like, oh, well, you just need to be more positive. Well, no, like you are struggling, and that's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Question for Seraph. Are you ever going to play Warframe again? I miss playing with you. I've still been playing Warframe. It's just been off stream. It's been off stream. I've actually been playing it quite a bit. Yeah. Are you on my friends list on Warframe? If not, add me and maybe we can play sometime. But yeah, I've still been playing it. They've got a sizable update coming soon.
This is how much Seraph plays. Yesterday, I was watching him stream. He streamed? Yes, he streamed yesterday.
First time in a month and a half.
He was playing Modern Warfare last night, and I only caught. I was lurking in a stream, but I did catch this moment real quick.
When I was talking about the hours.
No, so they had a glitch in the game, and it had to close it out, and he accidentally clicked on Warframe to open it up instead of Modern Warfare. That's how much he plays this game. He put way too much time into that game
to start up Warframe.
When am I getting on YokeTalk? A-Swing asks.
Next week?
We just talked about it, and we were talking about next week. We will have a 3-person YokeTalk. Seraph is going to be able to be here more than likely, and so we can get you on next week. A-Swing is somebody that is an old friend of ours from the beginning OG days of God Squad Gaming, and so we wanted to get him on here. He has his ideas, and he's a great guy. So we figured he would be a lot of fun to be on the YokeTalk. Rhizone says, "You mean when are Boz and Seraph not going to be bros anymore?"
Never.
Ever. We will always be Yoke fellows.
That's right.
Till the end of time.
But
I did call A-Swing old.
You called him old. But I do think we've exhausted the questions here, friends. And that is A-okay. We went like an extra 20 minutes. I think that's fine every now and then, you know.
I think that's completely fine. I do have one last thing for you guys. I'm thankful for something because, guys,
what are you thankful for? Make sure you write it down.
I'm going to write this down and I'm going to stream it in 3 days. In 3 days, Age of Calamity comes out. And if you guys watch my last stream that I streamed last week, I should be streaming today, by the way. But my last stream last week, shameless plug.
It's our podcast.
I went in. It was my 3rd time going through this one story part because it was the demo, level 2. It said run away from the ancient. I killed the ancient, and the level the level's supposed to take 20-25 minutes. It took 5 minutes, and I just wrecked that ancient with every part of Impa ever that was made in the game. And I destroyed it.
You did?
In the game. I didn't know if the game was going to freeze. I didn't know if like the ancient's bar was just going to stop going down at one point so you could get through the storyline. It didn't. It didn't do either of those. The story continued on just like I had beaten the level. Like right when the ancient died, level was over. It was beautiful. I'm excited for this game. I'm telling you guys, Friday night, I am streaming this game. I'm going to go to the church. I'm going to get the chairs for the physical location. I'm going to come back. I'm getting right on stream, and I'm going to go through the first 2 levels, and then I'm going to go and get Rivali because he's my favorite champion.
Doesn't your save data transfer?
It does, but I'm not doing that. I want to experience the full game for itself. All right. I am excited. I'm gonna get Rivali, and everybody's like, "Oh, Rivali's the stupidest." You know what? You're the stupidest. I'm just kidding. You guys, I love all of you. No, I love Rivali. I think his quips and just his like arrogance is just, it was perfect. It's what I needed in that game because everybody was so formal. Daruk was just cool. Urbosa's just super crazy. Mifa's like his love life. Then you got Rivali. And I just needed that one guy that's just a jerk in that game to make me feel like this is a real game. Like that's what I needed in my life. So you know what? I'm getting Rivali first, and I'm excited. I'm excited.
Next week you can tell us all about it, and you can tell us how great Rivali is.
We might take the whole hour.
The whole hour.
We might take the whole hour.
We might have to bench you. Sorry.
unless you play the game.
Unless you play the game.
Then you can come on YokeTalk.
But guys, we've gone on for far too long already, but it was fantastic. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 20 of YokeTalk. Many more to come in the future. Don't see this stopping anytime soon. It's been great. I love chatting every week and having you guys be a part of the experience, even though we don't usually interact with the chat too much. Remember, we always read it. We always love having you guys here. And it's just great. I'm thankful for the YokeTalk podcast.
I'm thankful for the Yokers out there.
Thankful for the Yokers. Amen. All right, guys. Well, you have a wonderful week ahead of you, and we will see you next time. So take care, all you Yokers.